Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the public meeting. I will just give you a brief overview of the project, and thereafter I will introduce Mr. Ricky Compton, our infrastructure divisional director, and he will take you to the project, what we propose, and what we intend to do with Donaldsonville. Okay, this program, the Louisiana Office of Community Development, has allocated this community development block funds to various programs as described in the State of Louisiana Action Plan for the utilization of a community development block grant fund in response to the 2020 and 2021 federal declared disasters in Louisiana as amended. OCD's objective in allocating this fund is to ensure that all CDBDR dollars provided to the state are fully utilized to the greatest extent possible to address the unmet needs from the covered 2021-2020 disaster, which included Hurricane Ida and May 2021 severe storm, also Hurricane Laura and Ida. Initially, the funds were obligated to two different programs, namely Hometown Revitalization Program for Economic Revitalization Recovery and the Resilient Communities Infrastructure Program for Infrastructure Recovery. Ascension Parish was initially allocated $794,758 through the Hometown Revitalization Program, and a public meeting was held on April 19, 2023 to inform the public, you the citizens of Donaldsonville, of Ascension proposal, which is the National Guard Armory building, or any other project that you would like the parish to submit for the allocation. However, sometime late last year, the parish received a notification from OCD that they will merge the Hometown Revitalization Program into the Resilient Community Infrastructure Program. The purpose for consolidating the two programs into one allocation will provide grantees with greater flexibility and ease of reporting. As a result of this merger, Ascension Parish was awarded an additional $2,187,965.64, bringing Ascension Parish government total allocation to $2,982,723.64. Of course, this was great news for Ascension Parish, and particularly Mr. Ricky Compton, as he sees an opportunity to further enhance the National Guard Armory building to meet the needs of the citizens of the West Bank of Ascension Parish. In accordance with the grant program requirement, we, Ascension Parish, are obligated to return to you, the citizens, to inform you of the additional location and to provide you with an opportunity to propose any other project than the National Guard Armory building that you would like to see the parish submit for the allocation or to support the parish proposal. The funded location is as follows. The CDBG DR program is $2,982,723.64. We receive also an allocation to the state capital outlay project of $850,000. And of course, the parish is going to put $276.36, giving us a total project of $4 million. I will now call upon Mr. Ricky Compton, AP Infrastructure Divisional Director, to tell you about the project and the proposed activities.
Thank you. So we've been talking about this project now for almost 4 years, and I am excited that others are now recognizing the importance of this project and have secured some additional funding. I'm going to call up Michael King, our Recreation Director, when I get through this little piece, just to tell you what our vision is for this building. But our plan all along has been, first, to do asbestos and lead paint remediation, second, to add HVAC facilities to that building, and then third, to make it habitable, meaning we want to do all the floors, we want to paint, we want to upgrade all the plumbing, all the electrical, all the lights to LED. When we went after this new allocation of funding, what we said was this will become our shelter for the West Bank. So we no longer have to use the high school. So we're having to modify our plans to add showers and locker room facilities to the building, which we have space to do. So when you look through the sheets that you got that shows the proposed activities, that gives a pretty good list of what our plans were. After having sat and talked to Councilman Joseph, we're going to also look to see if we can afford to build a bit of a stage or a covered area onto the side of the building to support activities in the park. The way that park is currently utilized, having a stage there that the public can use, that we can use to support events in the park, we think would be a really cool way to engage the building with the park even further. So I'm going to turn it over to Michael so he can talk about what we might do with some of the spaces inside of the building. And if you've never been there, it's a pretty cool space.
All right. Yeah, so now I get to talk about all the fun stuff, right? So I do have a couple of pictures up here. You are not going to be able to see them from there. But if y'all want to come check it out after this, you absolutely can. Just kind of showing how we see this space being utilized. So, and I'm sure at least half of these people, half of the people in this room have heard me talk already about how we're trying in recreation to show everybody we're not just sports anymore, right? We do a lot more than that. And so this space is really going to be the first space we're going to be able to show what we can do that's more than just sports, right? So yes, there is a basketball court in there, but that's not all, and it can be used for so much more than that. So the way that the Armory is already set up is pretty cool. You walk in, there's a big gym area, like, so you get a big feel of a basketball court. But then there's all these different rooms on the side. One really long room that used to be, I guess, a firing range kind of thing. And so there's a really long room that we have in mind for doing some fitness activities. You could even do some baseball or some archery activities or something like that in there. There's lots of things that we could do in that space. There's a space up front that we're looking at doing a esports gaming room, computer lab, and kind of doubling that up for different kinds of services for after school activities or for classes. And then we've got a classroom setting that again could be used for either fitness or for after school activities, for camps, things like that. We've also got a space that we're trying to hopefully dedicate for dance and for more fitness classes. And so you can kind of see, like, this, if you ever get in there and look at it, there are lots of good spaces that are already there that we're really just having to clean up. As Ricky mentioned, I mean, the goal was originally just to kind of get the lead paint and asbestos dealt with and then work on HVAC. But now we have a really good idea of what we think we can do inside of this to provide services all year round, people of all ages, right? So this isn't just going to be for kids. We're going to have adult classes in there. We're going to do, I mean, we could do anything from Zumba to yoga to line dancing, you name it. And then getting back into after school programming, give kids somewhere to go after that, after school, and working on summer camp, something to do in the summer where we can do, you know, not just sports specific, but more recreational, educational based, even sometimes STEM activities, things like that. So we have a lot of potential here and a lot of room for partnerships, both with the city, with the sheriff's department, a lot of things that we can do in this one space. Oh, and pickleball. Always gotta throw that in there. Can't forget about the pickleball. So yeah, we got lots of things that we would like to do in there, and I mean, I'll welcome anybody to kind of come up, take a look. We can talk about it and make suggestions. Yes, sir, Mayor. Yeah, I would imagine it'd be some kind of partnership, and that's kind of who I was thinking of working with on a lot of these things. I mean, we don't have anything planned out right now. We're trying to get it developed first, obviously, but I think that that's a good thing, because I'm not necessarily trying to take away of what they're doing over there. So maybe it's just like a double up, a second location kind of thing, so that we can hit some other folks on this side of town or whatever. I'm going with that, so that we're all in this together, providing more. Okay. Yeah, no, I think that is a great comment. So one of the main things that we're doing on here is getting it ADA accessible, compliant. As we're making changes to this building, that's one of the things that we are required to do, and we are happy to do it. Parish Recreation in particular has made an effort to, anything that we do now are going to have inclusive elements on it. So we're trying to bring in more programming for people with disabilities. We're trying to put amenities out there for folks with disabilities, something that we can do to give back to that community in particular. So yes, absolutely, that's something we would look to do. Mm-hmm. Correct. So this would, the question was about staff in the facility. So we would absolutely have someone on staff all day. And so this isn't like some place that we just do programming at night. We'll probably have somebody out there through the day and at night working in the front office up there, actively programming what is happening in the building so that we can keep things going. So I might have a dance class in the morning, after school activity, and then another fitness class at night. And then we might be doing basketball on the weekends or some other thing. We can do any number of things. No, this would, right. So again, the question was, just trying to repeat back. It's not like we would have to rent the facility. No, that is something that we may decide to do to allow people that opportunity. But as of right now, the plan is that this is a functioning recreation center where Ascension Parish staff puts together the programs, and you can have different things going on in different rooms at the same time. Now you would register for those programs. So if I want to join in on this line dance class, I register for that class. While if maybe you want to do that, while you have somebody else in your family that wants to go and do an art class in the classroom at the same time or something like that going on. With Special Tuesday? Yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. And again, right. So I would love to see more programming like that going on across the parish, certainly in this building, absolutely. And that's definitely something we can catch up on. Again, my background before coming into this was I worked with Special Olympics for several years, and the Miracle League and things like that. So it means a lot to me too. So we definitely want to do some of that. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Man, you know we don't move that fast. Noted. Absolutely. Now, I don't know. We'll have to catch up and see how much of that is related directly to this project and what would go on the building. But I think one thing that was not mentioned that we did talk about as well is in kind of the back corner, there's already a roll-up door. Removing that fence and then adding a new roll-up door to make that building then accessible to the outside for events like this, and then adding probably a stage, I would imagine, in one of those areas over there. And so that way you open it up to the park and everybody can kind of come and go, and you can use event space inside as well, because we all know it gets hot, especially around that time, to want to come in and do some things as well. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Again, we haven't gotten all the way into that, but I mean, typically speaking, for something like this, you usually would open 8, 10 in the morning unless there's something that needs to be programmed specifically outside of that. But then I would say at least a minimum of 8 p.m. And again, that's something if it's determined that there's a need for later than that, we just have to figure out the staffing and then the hours and the programming to go into it later than that. So as far as the timeline, I think I'll have to defer to Hermina on the process for the grant. But then outside of that, we're going to have to go through design and then building. So that piece of it alone is probably about a year and a half. So I don't know, and then however long, add to that the grant process, which can also take a while. Hmm. Yes. So after that, I would say we probably need a good chunk of that for design, and then at least a year, depending on what all we have to come up with for doing that.
And just to add to that, the roof in its entirety needs to be replaced. We have to add HVAC to the entire facility. We have to redo all the floors. So it's not a small, like we're not just going in a month and doing a remodel. This is almost a complete rebuild of that structure that's historic in nature. We're going to go through the historic board to ensure everything we're doing meets their wants and desires, but the building itself isn't historic. So we have a little leniency with what we can do, but it's a huge project. The roof alone was a surprise to us, which is why we were happy we got the extra allocation. That's almost an $800,000 roof. So it's a big project. The HVAC system's close to $1 million. So it's a huge project.
Hmm. Agreed. Fair enough. And that's why we intend to keep, and I don't have any drawings of the outside of the building right now, but I think the intent is to leave it as is, clean up, fix the things that are damaged, but the exterior would essentially stay the same. And then we're just adding to and fixing the inside. Yeah, I mean, sure. When it's completed, I mean, if that could definitely be something that we line up to get people to help spruce up the whole area around it and everything. We're about to do that with another project now too. Yes, sir. Nothing. Yeah, we
but we got more money. And we don't want to say no to this extra money, so we're basically rewinding back. We're going to go through, make sure everything we're doing is copacetic with the people giving us the money. We're going to re-RFQ the design, and hopefully the team that did this design wins, and we're going to keep going forward. Yes, ma'am. So, you know, it's our intention to be breaking ground here before the end of this year. It's government, it's grants, it's everything else. So we're going to be trapped in this world, but this project is moving forward. It's going to get built. No, ma'am.
not at all.
We did try to take the vault door off. There's a vault in the back of that building that we think used to hold weapons. We spent some money trying to get that door off, and we couldn't get it off. And so we just made it part of the construction project. We're going to have to tear it out, and it's space. Like it's it might be 200 or 300 square feet. Well, we can't get it open. Like, I mean, we tried cutting hinges. No, we want the side to be open.
So just to follow up again, so it's on the microphone and folks, if they're going back to watch this, can hear. The intent is to keep the building to look the same, right? Even let it continue to say Louisiana National Guard on the top. We're gonna keep the windows in the same style. Just trying to basically go through and fix what is broken, but let it look the same. So that is the full intent of this. Ooh, I like that. I'm all about historical interpretation. If we can get some information, let's absolutely put some kind of exhibit up at the front where we can kind of show the history of that. That sounds like a great idea. It sure would be, wouldn't it? We'll get with the Tourism Commission and add it to the. They do. Yep. Mm-hmm. Good idea. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. We're excited, and again, we desperately need those additional funds. So we're happy to be here and do this, and now get it moving forward. I mean, that was the big thing. Yes, ma'am. Okay. All right. Anything else? All right. Well, thank y'all so much for being here and for coming to see us and talk about this. If you want to see the layout, you're welcome to come up and take a look at what we're kind of proposing, and then we're excited to get moving. But thank y'all. Y'all have a good evening. Do I need to officially adjourn? 4:30 p.m.